women and girls, sisters, mothers and daughters. Women keep the island sailing smoothly. Women maintain the shops as owners and store clerks, manage the bank accounts and run the homes, feeding the little ones and the aged alike, churning butter and politics, as well as the tide of gossip. Thanks to their progressive and equality-based Quaker ancestors, they are educated and outspoken, these women, living in a way that is decades ahead of their female counterparts on the mainland. Thanks also to Quaker ideals, abolitionist fervor thrives on Nantucket, making the island a safe haven for escaped slaves running from the South. Those slaves are free here, marrying one another and the few remaining Wampanoag, and have children born free. They, too, are educated. They, too, are free to go to sea and return rich. But as we well know, there are degrees of freedom. Certainly, men other than whalers live on this island, too. Retired merchants and captains of whale ships, men with professions on land that help those to profit at sea, boys who are not yet men. Men who want to see society advance, as well as those who wish to protect the status quo. But how to prove your worth without a harpoon? There are other ways to wound, and other ways to win. This close-knit community is on the brink of something historic, you see. Devout Quakers, bigots, old flames, new loves, abolitionists, titans of industry, close friends, neighbors and acquaintances, an island of cousins all living in homes that practically touch. And, of course, the presence of all of that oil. Surrounded by other combustible material, rope walks, haylofts, candle factories, giant barns where sails are made. They are aware, of course, of the flammable nature of their island home, having been tested before by the great fires of 1836 and 38. This well-read and well-bred community likes to think they are prepared for anything. But do they know enough? It's July 1846 on Nantucket, and it hasn't rained for weeks. Every great fire begins with a tiny spark. All Nantucket needs now is for someone to light the fuse. Part 1. Heat. 1 week before the fire. Monday, July 6th, 1846. 1. Eliza. In the heat of summer, gossip spreads through Nantucket town like wildfire. Everyone on the island knows that, including Eliza Macy. Usually, Eliza enjoys the chatter of the women in town, the way her neighbors walk and talk with baskets of goods on their arms, as they exchange tales along the busy brick-paved and cobbled streets that lead to the harbor, where thousands of kegs of oil wait to be processed and shipped. Usually, she's very much a part of that very chit-chat. On any given Monday, she might lean in close over a barrel of grain at Adams and Parker, as so-and-so says such and such about you-know-who. And although she's not proud of it, Eliza has been known to follow a small cluster of ladies out of Hannah Hamblin's candy store on Petticoat Row just to catch the end of a particularly juicy tidbit about a Starbuck or a coffin, prominent families on the island, even if she hasn't yet purchased the black licorice whips she came in for. But today turns out to be anything but an ordinary Monday, which is why Eliza isn't out socializing in town. The morning begins with a vexing conversation with her husband Henry in the kitchen of their stately colonial home on Upper Main Street. "But what do you mean, Henry? How can you possibly stay out at sea when we need you here at home?" Eliza asks. There is no answer. Eliza continues, "I just wish you would be clearer in your intentions, less obtuse. It can be so very frustrating to be married to you." Well, not a conversation, exactly. How can one possibly be speaking with one's husband when he has been off at sea for almost 4 years? Conversations exist mostly in her mind, and when she's really annoyed,